Welcome to the next session of correlation. We are in the process of discussing rank correlation problems. Let's see the next question. Look at the first question. The ranks according to two attributes in a sample are given below. Look at this one. Ranks in one subject are in ascending order, ranks in another subject are in descending order. The question how you have to interpret: for our 6 students, an exam is conducted in 2 papers. Again, economics and quantitative aptitude, ranks obtained are in reverse order. That is, in first subject ranks are in ascending order, and in second subject ranks are in descending order. When you observe this pattern, no need to solve the question. Answer is always -1. Answer is always -1. Let us see. D is equal to R1 minus R2 minus 5 minus 3 minus 1 1 3 5. So summation of D is equal to 0. Summation of D is equal to 0. D square 25 9 1 1 9 25. So 35 35 70. Summation of D square is 70. RS is equal to 1 minus 6 into summation of D square by n into n square minus 1. 1 minus 6 into 70 divided by 6 into 35. 6 cancel, 35 will go 2 times, 1 minus 2, this is -1. This is -1. RS value is always equal to -1. Let's see the next question. Question number 2. R1, R2. R1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. R2 is equal to 2, 3, 1, 5, 4. 2, 3, 1, 5, 4. We have to calculate the value of rank correlation. So solution part. Calculate D for this. R1 minus R2. 1 minus 2 is -1. 2 minus 3 is equal to -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 5 is -1. 5 minus 4 is 1. Summation of D is equal to 0. It is a test whether the calculations are correct or not. In rank correlation, D total is always equal to 0. D square 1 1 4 1 1. 2 plus 2 4 plus 4 8. Summation of D square is 8. RS is equal to 1 minus 6 into summation of D square by n into n square minus 1. This is 1 minus 6 into D square, total is 8 divided by 5 into 24. 6 will go 4 times, 4 will go 2 times, 1 minus 2 by 5, this is 1 minus 0.4, this is 0.6. Answer is 0.6. Okay. Now after this, let's move to next concept, which is method of concurrent deviations. Method of concurrent deviations. Method of concurrent deviations. So it's a casual approach of finding out the nature and extent of relationship between the two variables when we don't consider the actual magnitude of the variables. This method is based on sign of deviations. What does it mean actually? I'll take up a numerical problem and I'll give you a descriptive treatment here. Even though we don't get a descriptive model problems, to understand what does it mean actually, I'll consider that question, and again we'll go back to practical problems, that is objective type questions. Now, first question, calculate the coefficient of concurrent deviations from the following data. This is my question. So let us see how to prepare the solution for this. Method of concurrent deviations is based on sign of deviations. So let us see the solution. Sign of deviations. This is for X series and this is for Y series. Dx, let us take dy. What I'll do here, succeeding value is compared with the preceding value. Succeeding value is compared with the preceding value. Succeeding value may be greater than preceding value, or succeeding value may be less than preceding value, or other possibilities, succeeding value and preceding value may be equal. Then how can we take up the sign? When succeeding value is greater than preceding value, put a plus sign. Again I am repeating this point. When succeeding value is greater than its preceding value, put a plus sign. When succeeding value is less than its preceding value, put a minus sign. When both the values are equal, put is equal to sign. Here 120 is greater than 100, put a plus sign here. 135 is greater than 120, put a plus sign. 135 and 135 equal is equal to sign. 115 is less than 135, minus sign. 110 is less than 115, minus sign. These two values are equal. This way for X series, deviations are taken from their preceding values. Same process, let us apply for y series. 40 is less than 50, minus sign. 60 is greater than 40, there is a plus sign. 60 is equal to 60 is equal to sign. 80 is greater than 60, plus sign. 55 is less than 80, minus sign. 65 is greater than 55, it is plus sign. Concurrent deviations. Concurrent deviations. For how many pairs have same sign of deviation? You have to count here for how many pairs they have same sign of deviation. Look at this, sir. For this pair, both the variables are moving in the same direction, or both the variables are moved in the same direction. So for one pair, the sign of deviations are same. Again, there is one more pair here. For this also, same sign they have. Then this is the third pair we have. For three pairs, concurrent deviation is same. So totally, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out of 7 pairs of observations, for 3 pairs we have same sign of deviation. How to calculate RC? This is R means coefficient of correlation, C means method of concurrent deviations we use. Plus or minus under root plus or minus 2C minus M divided by M, where C is equal to number of concurrent deviations, M is equal to number of pairs of deviations, this is n minus 1, n is equal to number of pairs of observations, So here C is equal to 3, M is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 minus 1, 6. So you have a plus or minus sign inside the brackets, inside the square root and also outside the square root. There is a plus or minus sign inside the square root and outside the square root. Let us see the purpose of putting plus or minus sign inside the square root. If 2c minus m by m is a negative value, and when I don't have this plus or minus sign, square root of a negative number is imaginary value. But r is a real number which lies from minus 1 to plus 1. R is a real number which lies from minus 1 to plus 1. Therefore, if 2c minus m by m is a negative value, to make it positive, minus sign I have to consider inside the square root. When you have taken minus sign inside the square root, outside the square root also I take minus sign. The purpose of taking minus sign outside the square root is which will tell you the nature of relationship. That is negative. Both the variables are moving in opposite direction. So if 2c minus m by m is negative, consider minus sign. Inside and outside the square root. consider minus sign inside and outside the square root. If 2c minus m by m is positive, if 2c minus m by m is positive, consider plus sign inside and outside the root. Consider plus sign inside and outside the root. And also notice one point, minus 1 is less than or equal to RC, RC is less than or equal to 1. Minus 1 is less than or equal to RC, RC is less than or equal to 1. Now let us calculate 2c minus m by m here. 2 into 3 minus 6 by 6. This is 0. 2c minus m by m. 2 into c value 3, m value 6. 6 minus 6c. So r is equal to 0 by, this is 0. So ultimately this is 0. This value is 0, sir, here. 2c minus m by m is obtained as 0. So square root of 0 is 0 only, r. This way, method of concurrent deviations is used to find the nature and extent of relationship between the two variables. Okay. Now this is a descriptive mode question, and this problem, as I told you earlier also, I considered only to explain the concept. Okay. Let's see the definition one more time. Method of concurrent deviations is a casual approach to find out the nature and extent of relationship between two variables. This method is based on sign of deviations. In this method, what I am doing, succeeding value is compared with the preceding value. When succeeding value is greater than its preceding value, put a plus sign. When succeeding value is less than its preceding value, put a minus sign. And when both the values are equal, put an is equal to sign. When this is taken for X series, same process you have to take up for Y series, and after that see for how many pairs we have same sign of deviation. So the pairs which have same sign of deviation is known as concurrent deviations. Means for those pairs, the values of the two variables are moving in the same direction. It may be positive or it may be negative, or there is no change at all, is equal to means. Fine. Let's see the objective type questions we have. For 10 pairs of observations, number of concurrent deviations was found to be number of concurrent deviations was found to be 4. What is the value of coefficient of concurrent deviation? This is my question. Let us see the solution part of this. Here C is equal to 4, N is equal to 10. N is equal to 10. So M is equal to N minus 1, 10 minus 1, this is 9. 2C minus M by M. 2 into 4 minus 9 divided by 9. This is minus 1 by 9. 2C minus M by M value is a negative. Therefore, RC is equal to minus 1 by 9. When 2C minus M by M is negative, inside the square root you have to consider a negative sign. The reason is I want a positive value in the square root, so minus sign is taken. Same sign you have to take outside the square root also. The sign what you have outside the square root will indicate nature of the relationship. The sign what you have outside the square root will represent nature of the relationship. So negative. Minus 1 by 9. RC is equal to minus 1 by 9. This is the answer to this question. Okay. Let us see the next question. The coefficient of concurrent deviation for p pairs of observations was found to be 1 by root 3 if the number of concurrent deviations was found to be 6, then the value of P is okay sir. See the solution. The coefficient of concurrent deviation for p pairs of observations. N is equal to P. RC is equal to 1 by root 3. C is equal to 6. So M is equal to N minus 1, that is P minus 1. RC is equal to plus or minus under root plus or minus 2C minus M by M, squaring on both the sides. R square is equal to 2C minus M divided by m. 2c minus m divided by m. RC is given as 1 by root 3. So square of this value 1 by 3 is equal to 2 into 6 minus p minus 1 divided by p minus 1. 1 by 3 is equal to 12 minus p plus 1 by p minus 1. This is 13 minus p divided by p minus 1. Cross multiply. 3 into 13 minus p. 39 minus 3. 4p is equal to 39 plus 1 40. P is equal to 40 by 4 10. Therefore, n is equal to p is equal to 10. N is equal to p is equal to 10. Okay. Next point for discussion is probable error. Probable error. Probable error. Probable error means it is a test for the reliability of calculated value of R. Look at this here. In statistics, we have data related to population and data related to sampling. Let me make it clear what is meant by population and what is meant by sampling. Suppose I have 100 students in a class and exam is conducted for all the 100 students and class average is calculated. Again, I am repeating my question. I have 100 students in a class and an exam is conducted to all the 100 students and the class average is calculated. That average is called population mean, denoted by mu. That is called population mean, denoted by mu. Let us see an example. Continuation of this example for sampling. I have 100 students and from this 100 students only 25 students are taken. Only 25 students are taken and an exam is conducted to these 25 students. These 25 students. And again class average is calculated. So this class average is mean. So this is called sample mean, denoted by x bar. Both are means only. One is for 25 students and another is for total number of students. When you do any calculations by considering all the students we have, then it is called population. When any experiment is performed for a selected number of items which are selected from the population, then it is called sampling. So far we have discussed the concept of correlation related to sampling. So to know whether the calculations performed by you or the data is consistent or not, there is a test called probable error, which is used to test the reliability of the calculated value of R. How to calculate the probable error, sir? Probable error of R is 0.6745 into 1 minus R square by root n. 1 minus r square by root n. Where n is equal to number of pairs of observations, r is equal to coefficient of correlation. Now, one more term here, standard error of correlation coefficient. This is 1 minus r square by square root of n. Standard error of correlation coefficient is equal to 1 minus r square by root n. Therefore, probable error of r is equal to 0.6745 into standard error of 1. Okay. So the value of probable error has one more advantage. It is used to find the value of correlation coefficient for the entire population. Again, I am repeating this point. There is one advantage with the probable error. It is used for what purpose? It is used to calculate the limits for the whole population. As I told you here, there is a difference between population and sample. For most of the problems, we are doing the calculations for sample data. Whatever may be the results the sample is providing or your calculations are providing, based on this you are taking conclusions for population. So, with the help of this probable R, I can calculate the limits within which the population correlation coefficient lies. Okay. So, population coefficient of correlation is equal to rho. How to read this? Rho. Population correlation coefficient is denoted by rho, Greek letter. This is ROW. Rho is equal to R plus or minus probable error of 1. R plus or minus probable error of 1. Okay. Now theoretical question they will ask you, at most any practical question. Either they will ask you to calculate probable error, or they will ask you to calculate n, or they will ask you to calculate r. Okay. And one conclusion based on this which you have to remember this. If r by probable error of r is greater than 6, it is significant. If r by probable error of r is less than 6, it is not significant. It is not significant. This way, any theoretical point they will ask you. See, this significant and not significant concept is related to sampling, which we don't have in our syllabus. Just for solving the problems, you remember this, that will solve your purpose. Okay, let's see the questions we have here. Given R is equal to 0.8, N is equal to 25. Probable error of R is equal to question mark. Probable error of R is equal to question mark. So standard error of R is equal to 1 minus R square by root n, 1 minus 0.8 whole square by square root of 25, 1 minus 0.8 into is equal to 0.64 divided by 5. 0.36 divided by 5. This is 0.072. Probable error of R is equal to 0.6745 into standard error of R. 0.6745 into 0.072. This is 0.04856, approximated to 0.045. This is the probable error of R. Suppose I want to know the value of correlation coefficient for population, limits for coefficient of correlation in population. Rho is equal to R plus or minus probable error of R. Upper limit and lower limit we will get. Upper limit is R. Rho is equal to R plus probable error of R. R is 0.8 plus 0.045, 0.845 upper limit. Lower limit is equal to rho R minus probable error of R, 0.8 minus 0.045. Minus 0.8. This is 0.75. 0.751 lower limit. Upper limit is 0.845. This way options are given. This way options are given and you have to select the option with which your calculations are coinciding. With which your calculations are coinciding. Let us see one more question. Given R is equal to 0.7, N is equal to 64. Okay. So say probable error we have to calculate and the limits for coefficient of correlation for population. So standard error of R is equal to 1 minus R square by root n. 1 minus 0.7 whole square by 64 under root. 1 minus 0.49 divided by 8. 0.51 by 8. Divided by 8. 0.06375. 0.06375. So probable error of R is equal to 0.6745 into standard error of R. 0.6745 into 0.06375 into 0.6745. 0.0429 0.99 approximated to 0.043. So this is probable error value. Now upper limit for rho, coefficient of correlation for population. This is R plus probable error of R plus probable error of R is equal to 0.7 plus 0.043, 0.743 upper limit. Lower limit is equal to R minus probable error of R, 0.7 minus 0.043, 0.7 minus 0.043, 0.657, 0.657. So limits are, first you have to write lower limit 0.743. So what is the interpretation of this one? These samples are selected from a population and correlation coefficient for the sample is 0.7. In the population it lies from 0.657 to 0.743. In between, inclusive of these two, it lies. Okay, this way you have to calculate the limits of population correlation coefficient. Next point is coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination denoted by R square. This is one more tool we have. R square is equal to explained variance divided by total variance. Explained variance divided by total variance. Coefficient of non-determination is equal to 1 minus R square. 1 minus R square. This way there are two more points which you have to remember in correlation. Okay. So we have Karl-Pearson method of finding coefficient of correlation, then rank method of correlation, concurrent deviation method. These are all practical oriented problems, means these are used to find not only the nature of the relationship between two variables but also extent of relationship between two variables. We have one more method, scatter diagram method, which is a graphical representation of two variables. Purely theoretical question, 4 or 5 points are there which you have to remember. Now scatter diagram. First point, it is a graphical method. It is a graphical method to establish correlation between a pair of variables. It can be applied for any type of correlation, that is linear as well as non-linear, that is curvilinear. One more point to remember. It fails to measure the extent of relationship between two variables. Okay, these are the 3 points we have. Other points already I discussed at the time of teaching Karl Pearson coefficient. Let us see those points once again. When I represent the points on a graph, they will reveal a particular pattern or a trend. If the points plotted on a graph are rising from left bottom to right top, if the points plotted on a graph are rising from left bottom to right top, it is a positive correlation. If the points are, this is for positive correlation. If the points plotted on a graph are falling from left top to right bottom, negative correlation. This way, pattern, based on the pattern they are exhibiting, you can identify the nature of the relationship between two variables. So this is about your correlation analysis and regression analysis, sir. With this chapter is over, remaining in the next. Thank you for watching this.